I just finished watching the very first episode of The Last of Us, HBO Max original TV show. It's a series. The episodes are coming out weekly. So there's only one episode out right now. I just finished it. Ooh, this shit is good. This is good. So if you guys wonder, a while back, with the Halo TV show, what a bomb that was. Big mess, really bad. And so it kind of gave video game TV shows a bad stigma. This completely turned that around. So this is made by the same people that made the Chernobyl HBO Max original. That is another amazing show. Watch that. It's a documentary, or more of a reenactment of the events at Chernobyl. Very good show. 5 episodes, really good. But the first episode has hooked me. It is pretty much the exact same events as The Last of Us 1. The exact same. But the acting, the actual beginning half an hour where it's like that prequel section of the game actually had me shaking because of how nerve-wracking and actually kind of scary it was. At the end, I'm going to spoilers here, where Joel's daughter dies, I teared up. And this is in the first half an hour of the episode. The episode's about an hour, 20 minutes long. In 30 minutes, the show had me tearing up. It was insane. And it really, the acting's amazing. Pedro Pascal, Bella Ramsey, fantastic job acting. It is amazing. As good as they can act. It's fantastic. And you can just even think about it. Like, when you see the world they live in, you can even, just 5 seconds, you'd imagine, okay, so this is a post-apocalyptic world where there's like this government taking over, where their laws are strict, but they have to be strict so people don't get infected. But people don't like that they're strict, they want freedom, and there's a rebellion called the Fight. It's a whole thing. And just from a little bit of scenery and just a little bit of dialogue, you get a whole story right there. It is insane. Before the show came out, IGN and a bunch of other things, a bunch of other rating services, all of them gave the show a 99 to 100. There was nothing below. There might have been a 98. That was it. That is insane. Just grasp that for a minute. All these, rating companies, they gave it a 99 to 100. I think at one point it had a perfect 100 for, like, everyone. That's insane. That is so difficult to get. A 100? That's crazy. I've played both The Last of Us games. The first one and the second one. And I'm going to replay the first one when The Last of Us Part 1, the remake of the first game, comes out on Steam. Which I will make videos about. But wow, it is insane. I mean, I played through the first game a few times, and it is insane the level of detail they go to. I mean, beside a few things, it's like scene for scene, line for line. It's really, really detailed. I got to admit, I was a little bit iffy on Bella Ramsey playing Ellie, to be honest, because she doesn't look like her, she doesn't sound like her. So I was a little bit worried about that, but wow, amazing job. I really didn't care while watching the show. She acts just as Ellie, the protagonist, one of the protagonists, would act in the game. Like it's identical. It's actually insane how their mannerisms are, completely in sync. It's just crazy. These are my first impressions, but I'm predicting this is going to be a very, very good show. I'm not sure. I think there's going to be 1 to 2 seasons of this. If there are 2 seasons, I think the way this is going to work out, if every episode, and I have it on my TV right here, if every episode's like an hour or a little over an hour, the first season, however many episodes it's going to be, is going to be pretty much the first game. In majority, not super minute details, but in majority, it's going to be the first game. And the second season is going to be the second game. Or not, or it's just going to be the first game. But it's definitely, it's following the events of the first game so far. It's completely following them. It's not deviating. So it seems like the storyline is going with that. This is not canon in the game universe. This is a whole separate thing. Even in the outbreak that takes place, sorry for the camera shaking, the outbreak that takes place in the games happens in 2013, and the games take place in 2033. and then like 5 years later for the second game. But for the show, the outbreak takes place in 2003, and then the show takes place in 2023. Oh, that's kind of crazy, isn't it? It's 2023 right now. But yeah, it's so it's not canon. I'm pretty sure that's actually been publicly said by the creators. It's not canon. So the show and the games are separate universes, even though they follow the same path. They're separate. So yeah, they're not correlated. I mean, of course they look the same, but they're not correlated. Pedro Pascal, especially, amazing job acting. He does a lot of stuff. He was in The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. He was in Wonder Woman in 1984. He was in The Mandalorian. He did a lot of big shit lately, and wow, absolutely just stole it with this. His acting is impeccable. I mean, he acts how what's his name? Joel. Sorry, that's it. Joel would act. He's that kind of quiet but also kind of brave guy, and it's insane how well they replicate how the characters act in game. This is gonna be a really, really good show. I'm just gonna say it right now. It's gonna be a really good show. I'm calling it. It's gonna be like a 5 out of 5 or a 10 out of 10, whatever you want to say. It's on HBO Max. You gotta pay for it monthly, obviously. That sucks. For the first time in my life, I have no criticism on this. Wow, it's it's just insane. Like, I'm a big fan of the Last of Us games. They're in like my top 5 games I've ever played. The second one being higher, which I'm actually currently replaying right now. But I honestly wasn't expecting to like this show. I'm not one who really believes in adapting video games to media or media to video games. I'm not a big believer in that, especially with the Halo show being a big piece of evidence of how, wow, they really messed this up. But The Last of Us proved me wrong. Because when you're adapting a lot of video games like the Super Mario Brothers movie and stuff, it's a big undertaking because people are used to playing this in an interactive media style. And it's not always going to work out with real actors, but The Last of Us didn't change my mind. It just raised the bar, and I like the show. It's insane how good this is. Like, it is actually crazy how good this show is. I'm sorry if I seem a little bit panicked or tired, but I literally just finished watching this. I was actually playing The Last of Us 2, and I was like, oh my god, the show's out, I should watch it. And I was not going to watch it. I was just going to be like, okay, cool, it's a Last of Us show. Okay, whatever. But, wow. Definitely check this out. If you're a fan of the games, check it out. If you haven't played the games, check it out. If you don't even know what The Last of Us is, check it out. Honestly, watching this has been a big shock for me, and it shows me that good shows can still be made, but by the right people. If you haven't watched Chernobyl, it's made by the same people. Came out in 2019. It's basically a reenactment of what happened at Chernobyl. It's been said to be pretty much the most realistic reenactment, and the acting is amazing, and it is just an amazing mini-series. I recommend you check that out as well. But HBO, wow, guys, really hit it out of the park. HBO's taken a lot of W's lately, and I got to admit, they're better than Hulu. I've done Hulu. I don't like them. HBO, amazing. Pedro Pascal, Bella Ramsey, amazing acting skills. And I cannot wait to see the rest of the show. So, honestly, just by the first episode, I'm giving this a 100% or a 10 out of 10 so far. This is an amazing show. Go check this out right now. I'm serious. Go pay for HBO Max and watch this right now. Do it. Okay? See ya.